I'll show you how it's done. Shazam!
Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome back to our channel here at Underdeveloped, and today we have another review for you guys for the newest MCU installment, Thunderbolts. We're neck deep into Phase 5, almost seeing the end when the Avengers films come out.
So this is the story. All right, so Thunderbolts is a story of a bunch of people who are really unhappy with their lives for one reason or another. Yelena wants purpose in life. Johnny Walker, he wants it like he doesn't have a family anymore, so that sucks. He's kind of a laughing stock, so he kind of wants his ego back. David Harbour, he has his old pride thing going on because he used to be a big hero in Russia, but he's kind of a nobody now. Bucky just wants to find information on Julia Louis-Dreyfus, and Ghost really doesn't just want anything. They're all just kind of there because the majority of them were sent together by Julia Louis-Dreyfus to kind of kill each other because she was trying to get rid of evidence because the U.S. government was on her ass and she didn't want to be a Hilda Campbell for any of the things she's been doing in these past Marvel movies. So what happened then was when they tried to kill each other, they only really killed Taskmaster, who was also there, but she's dead now, so nobody cares. But Bob is here, so now we care about him. And Bob is ended up being the Sentry Project, a government project that Julia Louis-Dreyfus did to experiment on people to create a super person, totally not Superman. And of course, anyone who knows the Sentry knows he's not exactly the most mentally stable person. So after they all make their escape, Sentry just kind of starts flying, he loses control of his powers, and gets knocked out. He wakes up with Julia Louis-Dreyfus, and she's trying to mold him into this superhero. But then, of course, our main group of characters, they were all right into Bucky, who's trying to collect them as evidence for Julia Louis-Dreyfus. But then they all go to New York because that's where she is now, and that's when they have a big standoff against Sentry, who makes them all look like jokes. And he, of course, turns on Julia Louis-Dreyfus because why the fuck wouldn't he? He's mentally unstable. And then he goes out of control, and all these heroes team together to go inside of him and help him process his trauma. And they all have a big bonding moment. And then at the very, very end, they go and they try to track down Julia Louis-Dreyfus again, but she ropes them up into a press conference where now they're the new Avengers in her last pathetic attempt to save face of the government. And that's basically the plot of the movie.
And save her skin because they were going to kill her.
Yeah, they honestly likely would have. These characters are killers. She would have been safe.
She pissed them all off. So she's like this Marvel Universe's version of Amanda Waller in a way.
Different personality, but similar function. You know, also like Cecil from Invincible. Same kind of idea. Exactly. I'll do fucked up things for what I think is right.
Yeah, but here she's a lot more her own ego for sure.
Oh yeah, she is definitely the worst of these three characters by far. Not even close.
Huge ego. All right. So what do you think about this movie?
Overall, I think it's pretty good. It's easily one of the better things I've been putting out lately. Like, I'm not sure I would like. I don't like it as much as Guardians 3, but this is like easily my second favorite since. You know.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, because I like Guardians 3 a lot. It's easily the best MC movie since, I think, Avengers Endgame. Because I'm not impressed with a lot of the Phase 4 and 5 movies. I mean,
really
the shows has been decent. Like,
yeah, they've been good enough.
Like,
some of them are really good.
A lot of shows building up to this, I thought was pretty solid. I liked Falcon and Winter Soldier until the last episode. Last episode was pretty terrible.
Most of the shows were like that. They're good until they weren't.
Yeah, they were good until the last episode.
Yeah, except for Loki. That only got better by the end.
Loki actually was straight up pretty good straight through. And then Quantumania was not it. A lot of it was just not it. So just by default, this is easily the better movie.
Black Widow and Multiverse of Madness were both very meh.
Very meh. Very meh. Yeah. Yeah, it's a very low bar since Endgame, honestly. Unfortunately.
Yeah, but this is a sign of better things to come. Like after seeing Captain America 4, I was kind of concerned. Like that movie wasn't that great. Movie had good ideas. It wasn't just put together well.
I mean, that movie they went through like whole different like rewrites, so you already know that was like going through like a bad.
Yeah, that one really went through it.
Yeah. I mean, I think Eternals was decent. I think Eternals had some good ideas. And it was a different turn.
I mean, yeah, but that's a Phase 4 movie.
rest.
We're way beyond.
Well, now
that.
I'm talking about movies since like 2000. Because to me, it has really. Because usually how these phases are marked is like they usually end on like a big team up movie, and they didn't really have it.
No.
So I'm kind of judging since the 2020 since Endgame. And yeah, like didn't have No Way Home either. So
yeah, No Way Home is very overrated.
Yeah,
I don't really get. It's just nostalgia bait.
I watched it again. I mean, it's not bad when you watch it again in full total, but even though it's still close to nostalgia, still a lot of convolution that I didn't think that made that much sense. Could be easily avoidable.
Yeah.
But yeah. Honestly, yeah. By default, like this and Guardians 3. This movie, Guardians 3, and Eternals are like the best Marvel movies since 2020. So. This isn't the best MCU movie I've seen, but it's pretty damn good. You know.
Yeah.
It's not bad. It's solid. I was like easily 10 minutes into this. I'm like, yo, this is easy. Like one of the better movies of the I was like 10 minutes into this. I was ready. This like already one of the best MCU movies in the last like 5 years.
Yeah,
easily. Cause I'm like, oh yeah, this is. I was like, this is already. I whispered him in the theater. I'm like, this is already like 10-15 minutes. I'm like, this is already better than freaking Captain America.
Oh yeah,
like this is already like this is how you make a solid movie. And the way and the structure of this kind of reminds me low key of how Avengers was the first one. Like the like they're kind of coming together unlikely, kind of almost falling off in the beginning, and then they're united by a common threat. And they go into New York City to neutralize this threat. That's kind of like the structure.
I think they're making intentional parallels because it's the new Avengers.
Yeah,
now.
I mean, I did it with I was saying it with intentionality. You know what I mean? Like, and that's also part of why I'm like, oh, okay, this is like I fuck with this because they kind of paying homage in that way. And low key, like I didn't like Avengers for a while at first because I didn't like that whole idea of it. But why Avengers works so well because they built up to it.
Yeah,
that movie. If you didn't have the movies that built up to it, Avengers would have been nowhere near as like popular or good.
Yeah,
because what he did is no real build up. You kind of go straight into the threat because they already spent like 5 movies hinting towards the threat and building up a team. So you kind of already know these characters. You know what I mean? So now you're just waiting to put them together.
Yeah.
So the inciting incidents, getting them all together in the same goddamn room. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to like set them up. You know what I'm saying? So that's the benefit of building up. This movie had that too because you built Yelena Bowen, for example. You built her in Black Widow, and she also came in Hawkman and Hawkeye. She came in Hawkeye, and I think some other stuff. And U.S. Agent, he had a whole arc, and he's one of the main characters in Falcon and the Soldier. That was a miniseries. So unfortunately, you get to see a movie and a miniseries. Captain America: Winter Soldier kind of builds up how the world is at this current time. Also, Red Guardian, he's in Black Widow as well, so you already know who he is. Also, Antonia Dreykov, she also was in the main villain of Black Widow.
Yeah. So that's all movie
Bucky
and a
Barnes,
show.
I mean, he's been around since, a very, very long time.
Yeah.
He's been around since Captain America.
The first Avenger even, yeah.
No. Yeah, technically, yes, he was.
Yeah.
So he's been in the fucking his phase 1, technically.
Yes.
Before he was anyone, as an actor, which most of these MCU guys.
Yeah, a lot of them are, yeah.
He's been around since 2011. You know what I mean? As Bucky Barnes, then he became Winter Soldier, and then he was a huge figure in Civil War, and then came back for the final 2 films.
Yeah, and then of course
Falcon
Winter Soldier after that,
which kind of captured how it immense. So you kind of see a whole arc, like
a
person beginning to now. It's like a huge change.
Honestly, the only really big outlier here is fucking Ghost. She's from Ant-Man the Wasp.
Yeah, but she was like the main villain from the Wasp.
I get that, but still, it's like everyone else is from these 2 things.
Yeah,
so it's weird to have this one character from
this
this 3rd thing, and she doesn't do anything either. She's just kind of there.
Yeah, wait, I'm thinking who else was in.
Well, then of course, Julia Louis-Dreyfus has been just kind of sprinkled throughout a bunch of random MCU movies.
Yeah, I mean, she's mainly was in Falcon and the Soldier, but she definitely like sprinkled throughout like other. I think she was in a few of the series.
Well, even then, she was in a lot of movies too. Like she had she had cameos in the newest Captain America. She had cameos in
she did?
in the Black Panther movies. I think she definitely the second one. I don't think
Definitely
she was in the first one. Yeah,
Definitely not the first one.
she was in but she was definitely in Wakanda Forever. I remember her being in that movie.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
but definitely not the first one. The first one that was like back in 2018, where she wasn't even introduced yet. She was first introduced in Winter Soldier and Captain America, the Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that the narrative was tight. I felt I thought the narrative was tight, was solid. You can make the argument that's a little too quick, but even with that, I felt it worked because everything was interconnected in a way that I felt everything was interconnected just right. So it kind of just because like the way movies work, they're like puzzles on a. Like they're basically puzzles, and you got to put the pieces together. But it's like it's like puzzles with pieces where you don't really know where it goes. So you kind of have to keep like
it's a puzzle where you're making the pieces as you go.
Exactly. So you kind of have to find a way to fit these pieces to make it work. Okay, this works. Boom. Okay, I don't know what these pieces are, but I'm just gonna keep putting this together until like find the right groove that clicks and makes the puzzle work. And I felt that this movie definitely set those pieces up for sure. You know, especially when they built up Florence Pugh and Robert Reynolds. Their whole dynamic, because that played a crucial part into how they saw the whole goddamn movie. You know what I'm saying? I thought that was used pretty nicely. And it worked because Florence she was in a mental state too. You know what I mean? Just like Robert, feeling fucking lost. They two people that feels, the protagonist, antagonist, they feel fucking lost. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of what made her, like, kind of automatically the leader, essentially, the prime person, because she had, like, the real, it all kind of started with her in her mental state.
Exactly. Like, she's literally how the movie opens up on. It opens up on her.
Exactly. You know what I mean?
And just one take fucking fight scene.
And she was the first one to really connect with Rob in, like, that dream, in that memory kind of.
She was the first one. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then Wyatt Russell, everything that every other thing he's been in built up to, kind of just kind of like it has set him up to be this, you know, really interesting, in-depth character that just stopped giving a shit about, you know what I mean, like certain things, while still having some genuinely funny moments, you know what I'm saying, when he's trying to act like he's more than what he is. So so when Ghost and Florence kind of gangs up on him, is funny and it's earned. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like everything feels earned essentially because it was built up properly. So unfortunately, MCU, you can't really stand alone anymore. You kind of have to have other movies build you up. It's one connective tissue. And the tissue connects really well, so it kind of
does here.
So that's a big part of why this movie works, because the shows and the movies before this did a really good job in setting up everything. So now everything feels earned in a certain way, so they could just do certain things, set up certain dynamics quickly, and it works. Yeah. My biggest pet peeve, my biggest flaw in this movie is the use of Bucky Barnes. I thought he was going to be like one of the main leader, but he kind of comes in with a singular mission. And then it kind of falls flat because he kind of fades into the background as the movie goes on. Yeah,
it's weird because he is like the most important character going into this movie. Yeah. You just kind of expect more out of him. It feels weird that he's here. Honestly, like I feel like it would almost be better if you just took a different character and put him in this spot, just because.
Yeah, and just have Winter Soldier as like a character that's like you know, he just comes in for like a moment and then dips.
Yeah, kind of like you did in the last movie, Captain America.
Yeah, like, you know.
Yeah, like, it's weird how he's used here. I mean, I kind of get the idea, we want two Avengers teams, one run by Sam, one run by Bucky. I get the idea, but you're not fully committing to the idea, so it just feels weird.
I don't see why he needs to. Him and Bucky are already friends, so they can just do it together. It's dumb as shit.
It is dumb. It feels super forced.
I don't see why they need to be separate. They could just be... They already know each other. They're already friends. They already fought together. Why they can't be part of the same guy? They were part of the same goddamn team before. They were literally captains, two guys, you know?
Yeah, they had a whole mini-series together.
Yo, Steve Rogers, him, and Sam.
Yeah.
And they were doing good.
They were.
Like, they're not that different in philosophy where they have to, like, I can't. Has to be some... To me, there should be a reason why. Yeah. There's no reason to fucking to have two separate teams for no fucking reason. Unless they have fundamentally different principles how to run the goddamn team. Yeah. Like, it doesn't work. Yeah. So that's like my biggest problem with this movie. And yeah, and this is a little more so, it's like, and it's self-contained, as I was like, you know, it kind of, like, I felt like certain things would have, like, lasted longer. I felt more would have happened throughout the movie. instead of just like him, instead of essentially just getting killed off one time and turning into the void, and then deal with that one time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sort of like a lingering, there was more slowly developing issue, progressing throughout a timeline. But also, it does work as like maybe a couple nights rolled into one. So it isn't too much of a drawback. It wasn't like how I felt when I watched Sinners with the way that was. Even though still a good movie, but if you saw my review, I have certain executional problems with that movie. But this one's kind of here, but it wasn't as bad. It didn't mean as much. So even though so my biggest pet peeve is mainly just the use of Sebastian Stan. That's the only real issue I have with this movie.
Yeah.
Other than that, entertaining ride, some genuine laughs, not gut busting, but charming enough and and hysterical
some
enough.
Good chuckles.
Yeah, what the MCU provides, what they're good for. Solid action, a decent third act,
decent character arcs.
Yeah, exactly, and the biggest thing is everything is earned. Nothing feels contrived. Nothing feels rushed or forced. It just it builds up. It is, and it complements all the things that it's been building up to. And what more can you ask from the MC movie?
Exactly.
In this stage of the game.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I'm excited for the Fantastic Four First Steps, because that's like one of the first origins in a while. So you could kind of like just build this team up from scratch and make it into his own movie.
Yeah.
Instead of like being part of an established thing.
Exactly. I'm curious what they're doing with that.
So that's interesting. So. Anyways, all right, guys. That was this review. Let us know what you think down below of this movie. Do you like it? Do you hate it? Think it's the best of the Phase 5 so far? Think it's one of the best MCU movies ever, period. Let us know down below.
Yep.
And let us know if you're excited for the next movies. What's the more anticipated projects for you coming up in the MCU?
Yes, of course. And also, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button.
Yep, and hit the notification bell so you can stay up to date with all of our latest drops, because we are dropping. Later, guys. Catch you next time.